Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 13 of the Game Changers podcast. My name is Quinn, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, as always. My next guest is a young man with creativity at heart. He's a fellow creator just like myself, and he has a passion for designing a visual art. His name is none other than Cassell Paul, and I'm fascinated to have this sit down conversation with him. Hello, Cassell. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, bro. I'm great. I always say I enjoy having these conversations and speaking with fellow creators like yourself.
Same. I know the feeling.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully, this conversation can be a fruitful one.
hmm
I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's
So
go.
tell our people a little bit about yourself. Who is Cassell Paul?
All right. So my name is obviously Cassell Paul. I consider myself an artist, an illustrator. It's not something I do full time, but it's something that comes to me naturally. It always has. It's something I love. I enjoy doing. I spend literally hours on hours creating, drawing, um, and most times it's the thing that I need to, whether it's distract me or uplift my mood. But yeah, creating, drawing, specifically drawing, it's something that I love and something I enjoy.
Lovely. I like that. So you said you're into drawing.
Yeah.
Is that the only type of art you into, or are you into others as well?
So that's a really good question. I guess primarily pencil and paper will never fail me. It's I
Right,
guess
right.
every child can relate to picking up a pencil and doing a doodle or just doing something on some scrap. So it's my
Mm-hmm.
primary medium for creating, but I have branched into painting. Um, Occasionally I would host like a paint and sip session. So I have
Right.
to actually pin the reference and then instruct a group of people to do that painting. And then I also do digital art. And I've invested quite a lot in my digital art. So these are the three main types of arts that I do.
Nice. So how did you start drawing, if you can remember?
Oh, the question was, when did I start drawing?
Oh, how?
Oh, okay. Well, so the memory I have, as well as the story my mother tells everyone, is that I used to sit down in front of the television and draw while the cartoons were playing. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so I actually have some of those, like probably like two or three of them, um, and that's my earliest memory. Besides that, just random stuff. I was
Right.
never big on painting or coloring. It was mainly black and white. So that's my earliest memories.
Got you. So you're saying that you started this from way back.
Yeah, I don't think I can put an age to it. I just remember being able. I mean, I guess children are more creative than adults. So as a child, you don't think of yourself as a creative person. You just create. You draw. You paint. Whatever you do.
Right.
But I always remembered more than just enjoying it, like wanting to do it, trying, picking up on new things. I could spend hours doing it. So as to the age I started, can't remember, but um, pretty young, probably around the age of 5, 7, probably before that. Um, yeah.
Okay, cool. But tell me, when did you start taking like art serious? Like you realized that you actually had a talent for art.
Okay, so I actually have two answers for that, two separate answers. So
Okay.
um, you first asked, when did I the second part of your question was, when did I start to take it seriously? And then the first part was,
Yeah.
okay, so um I think I pretty much knew I always had a gift, or it was a gift that a talent that I had. I think the earliest indicator was being in either primary school or secondary school, and every time there's a group or a project and there's a cover sheet and you have to draw something, people always ask me to do the drawing
Right.
for them. You know,
Right.
oh,
Right.
Cassell can draw, let him do it, pass it on for them. We have so this one is definitely secondary school biology. You have to draw a lot of weird stuff in
Yeah. Yeah.
biology.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let Cassell do it for you. Guys, you can do that for me, just that quickly. So that's when I pretty much it was made official in my head that okay, I'm good at it because other people recognize that I'm good at it. I started taking it seriously probably I think it's now 3 years ago. So
Okay.
I stopped drawing for probably a period of 7 years. Um, um, like didn't do anything, any kind of drawing, nothing. And I was doing a course. After I got my degree, I was doing a course, and just being in the class, I guess one of the nights the lecturer was not boring, but I guess I kind of just zoned out. And
Right.
I started to draw the instructor, the lecturer, right? And
Tell
somehow,
the truth, Cassell. The lecture was boring.
no,
Tell the lecture was boring. Just say that.
nah. To be honest, that woman, that woman was turn up. That woman was one of the most
Okay.
expressive, vivid, free people
Okay.
I've met for like a older lady. So she definitely wasn't
Okay.
boring. I probably just wasn't interested in the topic that night or whatever it was.
Right. Right. Right.
But I started drawing her, and somehow
Okay.
the the book I had or the paper I had got passed up to the front of the class, and she picked it up. Um, and like I said, I haven't drawn for like 7 years, like nothing at all, and it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
pretty bad. Um, and there was, some jokes like, yes, yeah, whatever. And she even to the point where she pulled out her phone and said, if you want to call yourself a true artist, and she showed like another student that drew something to some other class that she had, and so
Right.
I felt really bad that night specifically, like horrible. And I remember I was doing
Right.
that course with a friend of mine, and I remember afterwards I was talking to him, and I was a bit livid, and I was being very serious, and he was just laughing. He was like, "It was just a joke." Um, but so that course probably happened, let's say September, and December of that year,
Okay.
he that friend of mine he gifted me with like a drawing kit, which in my adult life I think is the best gift I have gotten because that motivated me to start creating again. And I think December of that year or January of the next year, I started drawing seriously, like putting a
Nice.
lot of time and effort into it just because of that one gift. So
Nice. Nice. I love that. I like how a friend of yours inspired you to pick up the canvas again and
exactly,
maybe take it as serious as you took it as a child. Because when you were a child, definitely you were taking it serious.
very much so. Yeah,
I mean, when children play, I mean, we say, uh, like adults, we say that they're just playing, but for them, it's very, very
yeah.
serious.
That's your life at that
S-
point. You're your child. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. So I like that. I like that. I like that. Sometimes we need friends to inspire us to do these type of things. Definitely. I like
yeah.
that.
And then often I wonder like what's and it is not something like I said it's something like I love doing that for some reason I just stopped. And like if I never got that gift, right? Or if I never had that conversation for him to know how I felt that night, and he went out of his way. He wasn't even working at the time. He just found the money and he bought me this drawing kit. I wouldn't have like found something that I really loved and really enjoyed doing. Um, and boy, yeah, you never know. Yeah, so
Yeah, definitely. You never
good
know.
friends, yeah.
Nice. So, okay. So take me into the mind of an artist. Now, when I say that, I think of myself. I'm not a visual artist. I mean, I might do a little bit of Photoshop here and there,
Right.
but I'm not that much of a visual artist. My creativity is writing. I've always been a good writer,
Okay.
and I've always had a talent for language. So maybe like my canvas might be like a Word document or something like that, and I can see, like I can picture the image that I want to portray,
Mm-hmm.
but I just express it in
Words.
words.
Yep.
is it the same for artists, a visual artist?
So what's interesting about that question is I also write. So I have a
Right,
website, I have a blog, I have a website. Um, so
right,
the
right.
process for me creating a blog on a topic, something that I've discussed with my friends or given a lot of thought, juxtapose the process of me um, getting my sketch pad or loading up my tablet, my drawing app, um, and not just coming to that point, but the process before that point is very different.
Yes.
So I I would jump forward and assume probably my similar writing process is close to yours in that, um, but at least for me, I give my subject a lot of thought before I actually commit anything to
Yes.
paper. Like a lot of thought.
Maybe too
Um,
much for sometimes.
yeah, almost to the point where sometimes I feel like I'm in school because like I go and do research, not like in depth, but I would go and read up on something or search something or so
Mm-hmm.
that's my writing process is normally inspired by something that has triggered me to think a lot about something. So
Okay.
a coworker tell me something, I get vexed, I stop, I think about it. I'm having a discussion with my friends, I see something on the news,
Right.
and then that's my writing process. My drawing process is different in that um, the and I like to think of motivation as being persuaded to the point of doing something. So my motivation
Okay.
for
Nice.
drawing is a bit the word I'm looking for is it's disconnected. It's all over the place. So my drawing motivation or what persuades me to draw is literally anything. I remember when I was at time I was working out and I was doing push-ups and the floor we have is like it has a lot of cracks. And I literally saw a face in the cracks. Like I saw at least I saw
Right,
like the
right, right.
curvature. I saw like part of the face. I saw an eye. I saw the outline. I saw like a piece of the head that you could put some hair on it. And certain shapes. So for me, shapes fascinate me. It doesn't have to be a complete shape. It
Right.
doesn't have to be um something that I guess probably other people might look at and be like, oh wow, that's appealing. It can be,
Right.
something that's on the verge of being something else, and that I get inspiration from that. What I realize is also colors, large inspiration for colors when it comes to colors, specifically like if you have a sunset. So every now and then I like to go on
Right.
the beach on the afternoon and just watch the sunset and watch the gradient of the colors in the sky. Wild inspiration, like joy. Like I just want to come back and yeah, commit that to
Do
paper.
something.
Yeah, do something, anything. So yeah, I would say my creative process, I get inspired by literally almost anything. Um, and I so what I do, I recreate. And I have a lot
Nice.
of respect for people who can create something from scratch which I can assume what most people think. Oh, you're an artist, so you can draw anything. Not necessarily. I have I've kind of worked. I've honed the skill of recreating something and making it look similar or putting my own spin on things.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
and so yeah, when I get inspired to, if I see a shape, if I see a face, if I see um, a combination of colors, I want to recreate. And that's my process.
Nice, nice. And I find that pretty interesting that you spoke about the writing process versus the drawing or the visual art process. Like in the back of my mind, well, I'm not a visual artist, as I said, so I always thought that it kind of was the same. But now that you say it, or at least for you, I realize that it's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. I I think probably the nexus or the kind of cross you have in similarity is that I think whether you're a writer, whether you're a visual artist, you're trying to share what's in your head with others the way it's in your head. I think that's the cross. I think that's where it
Nice.
kind of connects.
Yeah.
Because when I'm doing a blog, it's a matter of creating that bridge as to my thought process why did I write something that way? Where did this thought come from? And I think the same, I apply that same method with when I'm trying to create something, whether it's digital or charcoal. I see something that obviously it's in my head, so you can't see, and I'm trying to share that with you. So I think that that's where it kind of connects.
Right.
But for me, the process in and of itself is very different for both of them.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. All right. Pretty interesting. Game Changers proudly supports Kids Health Creative, a publishing house encouraging children ages 4 to 12 to live healthy lifestyles, all while having good, clean fun. Get their latest book, Be Smart, at 10% off when you use promo code QuinnST at checkout. That's QUINNST at checkout. Get yours today. Hello, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the episode. This episode was made possible through a platform called Riverside FM. It's a platform that I've grown to love, and it really does justice to creators. Unlike Zoom or other platforms, it records content locally and then uploads it to the cloud, so you have a seamless video. If you are a creator and looking to get into this space, this is the platform for you. Click the link down below to get started today. Want access to all things Game Changers? Here's what to do. Visit our website at www.changers758.myshopify.com. Get access to the latest podcast. Check out our weekly chess moves. Get yourself some neat merch, and so much more. We look forward to seeing you. Log on today. So, professionally, at least where art is concerned, you do work for people. You do work for people, right?
So simple answer, yes, I do. I do. Well, I call them large scale portraits. They're pretty big.
Okay.
The sketch pad, the canvas service is pretty big. So I do large
Right.
scale portraits from the bust up. Um,
Okay.
and I also do illustration. So I do my digital arts, which if I get employed to do so, I will charge for it. And yeah, so I do art for people professionally.
Nice. Nice. Now, the reason why I asked that question is that some time ago we interviewed Joanna Leo.
Right.
And I actually asked her that question, about your art, because I know you helped her with the book.
Oh. Ooh.
In fact, she was the one who asked me, to interview you. So I asked her a question, who should I bring on next?
Okay.
And she said Gazelle. So that's why I got the lead. That's why I got the lead for sure. But yeah, but tell me, how did that come about? I asked Joanna, from her perspective, but how did that come about from your perspective? That relationship.
Cool. So, I've known you all my life. So, I guess that connection or that that friendship or us knowing each other, it wasn't like a stranger approaching me. So that was
Right.
fine. And like I said, I started taking drawing seriously probably like 3 years now. So I've been publishing everything I draw. I publish it. I post it on
Right.
Facebook. Like I said, I have a website. My website, my art is on my website. Um, I've done a few drawings for persons. Once I get the permission to share it, because I believe once I sell it over, it's yours. Um, so
Yes.
yeah, once I get the permission to share it, I post it on my platforms. So
Mm-hmm.
if you know me, you know I draw basically. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so she was in the process of getting everything put together for her second children's book. because the first one came out last year.
Right.
And I believe the first illustrator, which through you, Anna, I actually met online, and she's a pretty cool person. She was unavailable.
Right.
So Joanna reached out to me, and I said yes, basically. So that's an opportunity. I've never did a children's book or that kind of playful, cartoony type illustration. Um, but
Right.
from what she wanted, it was fairly simple. I didn't have a big window. I didn't have a lot of time to do it for the amount of drawings I did, which is like a typical children's book. But yeah, she asked and I committed to it. So I said yes, and that's that.
Nice. Nice. I like that.
Mhm.
She also said that, I think there was a church activity, and you guys were asked to like showcase your talent. Like, and she said like she knew you drew before, but like
Mhm.
it rang in her head, when she saw you taking part in that activity. I think she said you were sick or something, and then you sent the stuff virtually,
Yeah.
and they showed it on the screen or something like that. Speak to the importance, and that's to our audience who is listening, of taking part in activities. You're just showing up and displaying your talent, just putting something out there.
So I think and I guess this one, what she made reference to wasn't a competition, but it was just to display your talents. But I think oftentimes
Right.
competition or being in a competitive zone or situation forces you to be better. Um, and when
Yes.
you obviously, I mean, comparing yourself to people on a regular basis is not a healthy thing. But probably when it comes to a skill that you might have, if you're into sports, when you compare your skills to another player, you realize how much
Right.
better you can be. Um, and for me, um, anytime I can challenge myself or put myself in a position where I have to do something better or be better, I try to push myself. So I think the importance of being engaged or being in activities, whether it's a art competition or whatever creative avenue that you're in, being in your putting yourself in a position to display your talents pushes you to be better. I'm a believer that growth comes outside of your comfort zone, and once you can step beyond your comfort zone, naturally you become uncomfortable, but you make the amendments um, to better yourself so that next time you step out, it's not as uncomfortable. And it becomes less and less uncomfortable the
Definitely.
more you continue to step out or the more you continue to grow beyond your space of comfort. So I believe taking part in activities, and if you have some honest people, some people will tell you, oh yeah, that was okay. And it might hurt, especially if you put a lot of work into something, but it forces you to be better. And I believe
Yes.
just showcasing your art. If you're good at something, if you love something, you shouldn't be embarrassed or ashamed. I think history has proven or shown us that oftentimes the people that were a bit strange or a bit weird, they did things that has lasted for years, right?
Timeless.
Timeless, exactly. So putting yourself in a position, not to gloat, not to have to boost your ego, but to kind of reveal your weaknesses or probably even reveal the niche things that actually make you great. I think it's good for a creative person to display their work, and then you get publicity, you get opportunities. Like I said, growth comes beyond your comfort zone. Um, if you stay within your comfort zone, you limit yourself to whatever opportunities that might come to you instead of you going out and getting that exposure that will put you in a better position. So
I like that.
yeah,
I love that. I love that. So put yourself out there, basically. That's what you say.
basically, yep. Don't get me wrong.
Put yourself out there. I like that.
Get good at something and then put yourself out there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. You want to hone the skills, you want to work on it, you want to fine tune it,
Exactly.
but don't fine tune to the point where you're overthinking it. Oh boy, I don't want to put this out. I don't want to try this. Yeah, I get that a lot. And I think that's something for creators. That happens to creators a lot.
Mm,
I think that happens to creators a lot. Like, for example, I think of this podcast in particular.
mm.
This idea came to me like sometime in 2020, and I only started it in 2022.
Wow.
A part of it was like I didn't have like the equipment that I thought I needed.
Right.
But if I'm honest with myself, a major part of it was that I was afraid, to put out the content. I was saying, like, what would people think? Would people even listen to me?
Mm,
And these type of things. And so far, I've only had, real positive reviews. And those negative reviews, were constructive criticism.
okay.
So what you can do better. So not bashing me, but showing me, things that I could do better. And they were helpful. So I really appreciate, you saying that, and I think that's important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I've given some thought of, and I've been meaning to actually do a blog on that. Yeah,
Right.
I think the sometimes a lot of the defeat comes from your own. There's probably mental stress that you put on yourself. And I think there's also something that comes with, and I think that this comes with creative people because, like I said, I draw, but I do other things. I've danced. I used to sing a lot. I write. So I've touched on a few creative avenues. Um, and there's a kind of doubt, I guess, that's built up um, in just being yourself and expressing yourself sometimes where
Yes.
you anticipate, I guess, the negativity or whatever might come with self-expression. Um, and I guess just to go on a tangent a bit, I think that's something specifically probably now that um, there's probably guys sort of go through when you have this idea of what it is to be masculine, and some fellas just not every guy is a you know build a house kind of guy, like with tools and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Some fellas are better at sitting on computers, and that's who they are. And they're great at what they do that way. Not everybody has that typical traditional machismo, manly man kind of thing.
Right,
And
right.
I think even if that's applied to probably you being a creative person and wanting to put something out there, it's inside. It's not something that you think about. It's something that you do naturally. And sometimes when you want to take that next step to put it out there, you just get all that, I guess, that pressure. But same things that you said. What people going to think. That's not what probably that's not what I study. That's not what people expect from me. Or and I
Right,
think
right, right.
I think ultimately, if and I guess this is a bit broad, but once it's something that you're good at, you've thought about, it doesn't really harm yourself or anyone else. Um, don't be afraid to express yourself. I think that's very important. Don't be afraid to put something out there, and because even with my blog, a lot of times people, oddly enough, people I don't even speak to normally would come and say, oh, I read that and whatever, and come and talk to me about it. And every now and then I'll get like a weird random negative, that was written badly. um and sometimes I get not negative, but like you said, constructive criticism, and I take that, and I've
Right.
learned to brush away the useless
You have to.
negative comments that you might get, and focus on the constructive and the good ones that you get, that because that pushes you to be better.
Yep.
And you shouldn't, I mean, in anything that you're trying for the first time, you will fail. I think you shouldn't be afraid to fail. You shouldn't be afraid to get those negative comments. I think the doubt comes naturally, but you work through the doubt, and that's what makes you better. So yeah, with what you said about
I like that.
starting your blog, and it took you 2 years before you actually started the blog. I can relate to that a lot, a lot, a lot. And I think once you can learn how to manage it and work through it, that's sky's the limit after that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back and we're wrapping up this segment of the questions.
Mhm.
Let's go back to you personally. What do you see your art reaching?
So,
Like, what's some personal goals?
all right. So, ideally, I guess, big picture kind of answer. Um, Museum internationally, right? Art museum.
Right,
I've been in every time I travel to like a state or something like a metropolitan place. I love going to museums. Really, actually, any type of museum, but specifically art museums. Um,
right,
and yeah, I would love to see my work being displayed. I would love to see my work being used. I think more than just being put on
right.
display. Um, I like when there's utility to something. It's not just like, for example, I like when I have to give someone a gift, I like to know there's a function to the gift. I'd like to give people stuff that they can put on
Yes,
their shelf that'll get dust. And when I think of my art and the thing that I put out, I would like to know that there's some utility to it and it's not just for aesthetic. Even though there's a lot of value in something looking nice or, the value that we
yeah,
draw from things being beautiful, but I like to know that there's some use to it. So whether it's so, I guess that's why I opted on the opportunity when Joanna um, approached me about the book because there's utility to that. I'm not
right.
just doing it for myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and yeah, if as far as I can see my art going, currently I'm actually doing another children's book, and it's going to be published in another Caribbean island. So I'm actually very excited about that.
Wow,
So on that trajectory, just as far as I can go with it.
I like that. I love that. Nice, nice. And we look forward to seeing that for sure. So
Yeah,
we keep track of you. We keep track of
yeah,
you.
boy. Trust me, that's
We'll hold you to that,
yeah,
Cassell.
that project is too much work, but I excited about it. So I want to see the end product.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Us too, for sure. All right. So like I said, we're wrapping up this segment at this. How can people get in contact with you?
Okay, so I think reaching me is very easy. I'm a millennial. I'm on every media platform you can think of. I'm a media person. I think my handles are mainly my names. So if you're on Instagram, let me just check. If you type my name, I think on Instagram you can get me at Prince Paul 758. On Facebook, it's my name, Cassell Paul. On what else? Well, Twitter, I think it's my name as well. Yeah, Cassell Paul. Basically, you can get me on that. You can contact me, WhatsApp. Um, should I give my number out? I don't have a problem with my number out.
Sure, sure. Go ahead, go ahead.
So yeah, 719-8005. You can reach me on there. Um, yeah, it's pretty easy to reach me.
Definitely. All right. And we'll leave the links to your social media and your number as well in the description down below.
Cool.
So people can get in contact with you easily.
Right.
So my final question, Cassell, for this segment, what advice would you have to a young person who wants to get involved in the creative space or is a creative as at heart, but is afraid to, put yourself out there? What is your
Wow,
advice for that
that's a
young person?
solid question. Um, so I I believe in focusing your energy on one thing and doing that thing over and over again to the point where you're just the best at it. And if you're a young person that's a creative and that thing for you is dance, you probably might not make it in dance professionally, but never give up on dancing. I think if that thing is drawing, you do that. If that thing is singing, you do that. Um, and you don't give up your talents. I think that's extremely important for persons who are younger than me. Um, you you don't stop doing something that you're naturally good at. These are gifts, these are talents, these are things that you don't give up on. You push, um, you continue to be better, Um, I think also to piggyback on what I said earlier, um, you know, growth comes beyond your comfort zone. If you're in a comfortable space, that's good for developing your skill and your talent. But you have to step out and express yourself. You need that trust me, the criticism that comes with exposure will either make or break you, and you just need to learn how to manage it so that you be better at it, basically.
I like what you said. That's really, first of all, interesting, and secondly, it's important. It's important. So don't be afraid to put yourself out
Yeah,
there. I think that's the moral of this story thus far. Put yourself out
for
there.
sure.
Put yourself out there. I like that. I love that. Okay, so we are done with this segment. Our chess move for today comes from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's an amazing book. You definitely should read it.
Mm-hmm.
Go and check out How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's great for a shy person. It teaches you how to get out of that comfort zone
Right.
and how to put yourself out there. And it's perfect for creators as well. So go and check out How to Win Friends and Influence People. Okay, so Kasa, we're moving to our quick fire, quick hitters. So, we like to tell people we want you to answer in 30 seconds or less. If you go over 30 seconds, we'll not penalize you, obviously.
Okay.
But, we want to keep it short and sweet. All right? So, one word answers. And maybe if I ask you, to explain yourself, then you give a little bit of an explanation, but not very long answers. Okay. All right? So, let's go. One of the famous questions that we have asked everybody this thus far: Apple or Android, Cassell?
There's no way I could answer that in a short space of time. Okay, so
Okay, all right, we'll give you time.
all right, so okay, I want to try to be quick. I am an Android person. I live,
Right.
breathe, sleep, bleed Android. Right. I
Yeah.
have I've owned the Google phone. So they used to make Nexus, and then they switched over to
Yeah,
Pixel.
yeah.
I have owned three Pixels and probably like three Nexuses or four Nexuses. No, I like three Nexuses and around four Pixels. Um, I have always said I will never cross over to Apple. I have no
But
business crossing over to Apple. I don't like Apple interface. I think Apple people are brainwashed. Um, but like I said earlier in the interview, I started taking my digital art very seriously, and the best platforms for just video editing. I also want to go into um, doing YouTube videos as well. Um,
right.
and the best arts, I'm not art, the best platforms and software you can get is with Apple. I searched. I didn't want to. I did a lot of searching. But I have an iPhone. I have an
Okay.
iPad. I have
Yeah, you're a traitor. You're
I have an Apple
Cassell, you're a
Pencil.
traitor.
Yeah, I have all Apple, but I'm 100% Google. I'm using it. It's a good phone. They're good products, but
Right.
preferably Google 100%.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, nice. All right. So that's a question. Another question we ask people, pretty lighthearted, and it will tell a bit about you personally. What type of music do you like listening to?
Wow. Yo, this is interesting. Okay. So
Don't tell me you like me that your taste is very diverse like mine. Please don't tell me like that.
yeah. All right. So, yo, this question you can't answer in a short space of time.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So
Go ahead.
this is a conversation I've had with a lot of people. Um, music is a form of expression, and
Yes.
I guess in Christian circles, we like to limit it to gospel music. You're not supposed to listen to gospel music.
Mm.
Which is great. Listen to gospel music, but I see music like arts. You don't limit yourself to one type of arts.
Yeah.
Um,
Same.
just for so many reasons. And for me, as much as I probably try to be conservative with what I listen to. Yo, I love everything. I love just while we were preparing for the interview, I was listening to some 80s groove music.
Oh, I love
Yo,
my favorite era.
80s groove. I love Afro beats. I love rap. I feel like rap is modern day poetry. Some rap, not all of
Right,
it.
it is.
Um, I have a soft spot for country music.
Oh, no, I can't agree with you there.
Yeah,
I am not a
I,
fan.
I have a little song. I love Zouk. I just I
Yeah,
love
me
I
too.
love I love the I think that probably the breakdown of sound when you listen to music. I love classical music, like hardcore, like
Yes,
Beethoven, Fifth Symphony. Like I love really love classical. So for me, I just it's everywhere. It depends on my mood. I listen to what I feel,
got you.
whatever I'm in a mood for. Yeah.
Nice. I get that. Nice. All right, and the final question. Now you have to help me with the answer to that question. In fact, this was the question that got you here. All right, so help me with the answer to that question.
Uh,
Who would you like to see on Game Changers?
um.
Tell me, you know people, Castle.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I know too many people. I know too many people. Um. Probably. I thinking about I have a soft spot for musicians, man. I'd love to see probably a musician on your show. So two names in my head right now is Rohan James. You know Rohan?
Okay.
Rohan
Yes,
and uh Leonard. I know Leonard last name. He plays drums.
Leonard. Yeah, I know Leonard. I know the Leonard you're talking
Yeah,
about. So okay, all right.
yeah. So those would be my two
Okay, I like that. I like that. So look for a
for a
musician.
musician,
I
man.
like that.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
interesting.
for a musician.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay, Cassell, we have come to the end of this interview. Bro, to thank you for coming on. You have inspired me, and you have given great perspective. Great perspective. I wish you all the best, and we look forward to that book,
Yeah,
definitely.
so the book should be published. My contract is from June to December, so
Okay.
2023.
All right.
Yeah.
So we look forward to
Mhm.
it. All right, guys. This has been Game Changers, episode number 13. Thank you for logging on with us. And as usual, stay hungry and stay connected. Bye bye.